that and sent to my own email inbox.
Nice, very
That's all.
nice, very nice. Thanks so much. Lovely to have you here. All
Thank
of
you.
you, welcome and thanks for being before time. It's not 6 yet, but you all are here. And the whole idea of today's session is that we'll start with a little bit of music. Just it's a Sunday evening, so it's a holiday for everybody, and just to help you, relax and ease and enjoy the beauty and goodness of good music. One of the students who has registered on the course here, he's here, Vignesh Kukul. He's a student from Mauritius, and he's also registered on photojournalism. So he will share his talent with music to give us some joy. And meanwhile, that gives time for people who are late also to join in. And while they join in, we don't, we don't kind of waste time. We're doing something with our time, which is delightful and beautiful. And meanwhile, the others can join in as well. And then after they join in, we will start. Nicholas is here. Nicholas Joffrey, my colleague from the consulate there, France, of Pondicherry. He's here. He's an excellent photographer, and he heads the communications department in the French consulate for Pondicherry and Chennai. We are indeed, very grateful to him for giving his time out today. And he will be kind of be there with me throughout the course. I mean, unofficially, he's not a part of the SWAYAM team, but since he is passionate about photography and sharing knowledge and updated knowledge with people for the benefit of creating a knowledge society, he will share his learnings about the developments in photography and so on and so forth. So it's 6 o'clock. So let's start with flute. It's dot on time. And welcome to everybody. Vignesh, are you ready with your flute performance? Ritik and Richa are my assistants, my TAs on this course, and Ignesh is a flautist who has he'll tell you himself how he learned the flute. So Vignesh, over to you. Please unmute yourself. And Richa, if you are doing any coordination, yeah, I'm muting myself.
Hello everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you again for giving me opportunity every time to share a little bit of music with everyone here. And before starting, yes, ma'am just told me to say how I learned music, but I have told that previously. But even in this class, I want to encourage everyone to join this online class because I have learned music only through online platforms. It's like I've never got the opportunity to learn proper music, but whatever I know is only through online platform. That's why I always encourage everyone. Yeah, it's even if it's online, it's a good platform to learn at least the knowledge you are getting, and then we will be able to develop the proper skills. So I will play one small piece, a patriotic song, which is known as Vaishnava Janatu. Thank you, everyone. I just apologize if I did any mistakes during the music. Thank you. I hope you have liked the performance.
Thanks, Vignesh. And we will start with the interaction. Nicholas just asked me that what is the link between photography and music, and Good Genie. I don't know what your real name is. He said it's a good way to kind of spend the time. That's true. Last time also when we had the interaction, a lot of people came in after 10 or 15 minutes, and then I had to repeat everything again for them. And it was very late. So, and we had music at the end of the session last time. But this time we thought we'd do it in the beginning so that it gives us time for people to join in. And a lot of photographers like Avinash Pasricha and Raghu Rai, they have, it's not necessary that you need to listen to music, and it's not necessary that you may be open to music or music may shape your sensibilities of looking at the world. But a lot of Indian photographers say that their exposure to the arts, culture, and music has helped them to refine their sensibilities and their composition skills. And you will hear that, all of you, when you listen to the interviews by Raghu Rai, who was a protege of Henri Cartier-Bresson, and also Avinash Pasricha and Navroz Contractor. That's later in the course. So thanks, Vignesh, for now. And we are ready with the session now. And so let's start off with, if anybody has any questions, unmute yourself or chat. We have any questions regarding the course, regarding, please
Good
put them
evening,
on.
ma'am. I'm Dr. Sunil Mishra, and I applied for this course.
Huh?
I got first email from your side, ma'am, today.
Yes.
So I don't have any idea about what is going on. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Dr. Sunil Kumar, we realized that too, because some of my students in the university told me last week that they don't know what's happening, because they said we don't get any emails. And that was very sad, because I am regularly posting, sending push notification and email through the announcement on the Swayam account. And also, we have something called a discussion forum. Richa will walk you through it. And in the discussion forum, if you join, then definitely you will get a notification. I think people who are in the discussion forum, they are getting my mails, right? Anybody here in the discussion forum? I think you're getting the emails, but the
Yes,
announcements to all the people registered, they're
yes,
not going
we
through.
are getting.
Do get
Sorry?
it.
Yeah, Himapallavi?
Yes, ma'am, we do get it.
Yeah.
The discussion.
Discussion forum. So one thing is, you will show you how to join the discussion forum, because if you join the discussion forum, then if those of you are really motivated to kind of use these 15 weeks to upskill yourself, expand yourself, be in a community of people who have things to share about photography and photojournalism, it's a good space to be. And Richa and Ritika, who are my TAs on the course, they are also discussion forum moderators, and they are assisting me to manage the discussion forum. Right now, we hardly have any activity. I asked a question relating to Raghurai's work on Raghurai's work on Bhopal Gas tragedy, and only two people responded in the discussion forum. And I'm a little concerned because either we don't want to discuss, or we don't even read the question, or we don't have access. I mean, anything could be the reason, but the idea of the discussion forum is that each one of us has a way of seeing the world. We have a way of seeing the world which informs the way we make a composition, the way we take a photograph. Now, when we start talking about it, there's some people who are not so confident, and there's some people who are really wanting to learn photography, but uh, is the link in the course content to join this discussion? We'll show it to you right now. We'll just show this to you how to do this. The link is there in the course content. Richa will walk you through it. It's a PDF with active links that has been created, and she will show it to you. So those of you who have taken time out to be here today, it's to help you integrate and enjoy the benefits of the course, because we have a lack of communication, because the Swam platform is not efficient. It's not working, and it's very frustrating for me not to be able to reach out to you. So definitely, first thing is, you need to log in into your Swam account twice a week. You could do it once every Saturday, because by then the assignment will be up. And on Monday, you can log in again. On Monday, we release the weekly content. Every week's video lessons and the e-text is released Monday morning. So if you just log in into your Swam account and go to your dashboard, on the left-hand side in the announcements, you will see the announcement. But it is not coming to you as an email. That's the problem, though I'm sending an email. So you'll have to actively kind of sign in to access the announcement till the Swam administration resolves the problem. Meanwhile, I have a backup of 2 email IDs of EMRC, through which important notifications we will send it to you. But the problem is, it's a lot of work of patience, because when we send group emails, there are nearly 2,000 people registered for the course. Then it treats it as spam, and then we can't send it to you. So it takes a lot of patience, that every 24 hours, each one group has to be uploaded, and it's a lot of logistics. But we'll get there sooner or later if you're proactive, and we'll show you how to access the discussion forum just in a short while. All right. And yes, that's the best way. Just look at the announcement section. And if you have other friends who have joined the course along with you, pass the word to them and copy paste it and put it on your WhatsApp group or whatever. If you have a WhatsApp group which people are more open to checking than emails, copy my message and put it on the WhatsApp group with your friends or your colleagues or your students or your teachers, so the others also get to know. We are going to be active. We are going to have an online session every 2 weeks, every fortnightly on a Sunday. As we go along, you may have questions related to the course content. So you've seen the videos, but you have a specific question to ask. You want to meet us. And last year, a lot of people said you would like more meetings. So that's the whole idea. Yeah. Assignment will be uploaded on Swam platform. The assignment should be typed, Samira. There are 3 kinds of assignments you all will get. First is the simplest one, which is the multiple choice question quiz. All right, that is a question with 4 options. You have to select one, and there are 10 questions, and that is just it's like an automatic thing. You just choose the correct answer, you put it in, and the system will accept it. So that is the regular thing, the MCQ. Along with the MCQ, there are two other kinds of assignments that I'm giving you. One is practical photography assignment, in which you, till now, I've given, I think, three. You have to take two photographs in each assignment and take that photograph and upload that photograph. Instructions are given, very clear instructions are given. All right. And the third thing is subjective assignment. Subjective assignment is for writing, so which you can type, but if you don't want to type, you can write, you can make a PDF and you can upload the PDF. So the choice is yours. What do you feel comfortable? You want to type it out and upload it as a Word document or a Google Doc, or if you don't want to type, you want to write, make a PDF and upload it as a subjective assignment. I'm giving a choice of different kinds of assignments to all of you, because some people may like to write, some people may like to take photographs. You can type, Samira. Please go ahead, no problem. And some of you would take the quiz way. So I think there'll be 13 to 15 assignments, and you should do at least 10. And the 5 highest scores will be taken for the internal assessment. Out of all the assignments you do, preferably at least 10 you should try and do. For all the MCQ assignments, the last date is 31st October, because the course finishes on 31st October. By 31st October, you can submit your MCQ assignment for week 1, week 2, week 3, anytime from now to the last week. But don't leave everything to the last minute. It will be too much for you. Do it at your own comfortable pace and your comfortable, convenience, but regularly do the assignments. And the photography ones, I have given deadlines of 22nd September, then 26th September, and then there'll be one more. And the reason being that SWAYAM enrollments are open the course till August 31. So there will be a student joining the course even on August 31. And last year, the registration date was extended to 15th September last year. SWAYAM decided to extend the date. So I had people joining us till 15th September. Learning from last year's experience, I have given the practical photography and the writing assignments deadline to 26 September. That's for the people who will join on 15 September. So they have at least a week to be able to take photographs and to write. But for all of you who have joined now, there's no reason for you to delay it for that period. And these are going to be manually corrected by me. The subjective assignments and the photographs, manually, I will be marking them. The MCQ, I would be giving the answer key to the SWAYAM board, and they will automatically generate the marks for it. I hope that helps. Yes, Mayur, for practical photography assignments also there is grading. There is grading, and you will only get to know all these marks after the course is ended, because there's this backend system is a little complicated. So once I finish all the assignments, then I will manually enter the marks. They will be visible to you on your account. And we come to this later, that, so don't worry about, I've learned, this is the second time I'm running the course. So last year I knew nothing. I was also as confused as all of you. I learned a lot by doing it. And now I know that there will be some back-end hitches because it's a technical system, but don't worry, because I am always available. If you reach out to me and I know what's the problem, if it's a technical problem, I will write to the SWAYAM nodal coordinator or the technical team handling the SWAYAM backend. And if it's anything to do with content, I will be able to respond to you. Okay. No, we don't have a WhatsApp group because I didn't take anybody's phone numbers. I don't have anybody's contact number. So that was one thing. We thought we could send broadcast messages, but unfortunately, SWAYAM has not given us any mobile numbers, and I also don't have any mobile number. So we can't have a WhatsApp group, but we have a Facebook group. And Richa and Nicholas has been actively handling the Facebook group last year. He will speak a little bit about the Facebook group and the potential. Okay. Nicholas is saying no, but whatever. There is potential in the Facebook group if you constructively want to use it to expand your learning, and we will speak a little bit about it. It's not just a forum to just share feel good pictures with each other, but it's a forum for us to experiment with whatever we are learning in the course and try out those things and post them on the Facebook, because that is not graded. The Facebook sharing is not graded. The assignments are going to be marked, but the Facebook is, if you want to take certain photographs or candid photographs or photographs with covering social documentary or sports or travel or wildlife, you want to experiment various genres of photography, that's your space to share it, right? And yeah, Mayur, fresh photographs are always recommended. People have asked me if they can share photographs that they have taken earlier on. If it's your work and you really want to submit that work, I would not stop you from doing it as far as it's your work. But I always recommend that you take fresh photos. And the reason why I say you should take fresh photos is because by seeing the videos and all, something new may come into your perception. Yeah, something may kind of, make you a little bit more sensitized or conscious of the way you're going to look at people, the way you make photographs. If you've heard Prashant Panjiar and how he talks about making a photograph and not taking a photograph. So with all those sensibilities, now the pictures you take will hopefully be better than the photographs you took earlier on. And that is why I encourage each one of you to take fresh photos. They're not many. In the entire course, you'll only take 6 or 8 photographs. And I can't ask for more later on because I have to stop evaluating everything by 31st October. And those who are joining on 15th September, they won't have much time. Therefore, there'll be limited photography graded assignments, limited writing assignments, and plenty of multiple choice question assignments. Uh, Internal assessment weightage is 30%, and the final exam weightage is 70%. So all the 10 assignments you do, out of which the 5 highest scores will be manually selected by me, those will have 30% weightage. But if you don't do those assignments, you will not be eligible to give the exam. So some people made the mistake last year that they did not even do those 10 assignments. And then at the back end, if there are no assignments submitted, they don't accept examination application. So that's the minimum. You have to do 10 to qualify for the exam. And at the end, the final exam will be 50 questions conducted by the National Testing Agency. And last year it was conducted in February. I don't know this year when they will conduct it. A lot of people kept asking me, when is the exam? When is the exam? But I had no answer because we give the question bank to the National Testing Agency and they conduct the exam for Ministry of Education. So you don't have to worry about anything. It's a government setup. It's a little slow. They will take their own sweet time, but sooner or later we'll get there. All right, and you have enough time to browse through your videos, refresh yourself. There's no panic. It's a online course. You have a lot of freedom to learn at your own convenience, at your own pace. Wildlife photos, Siddharth, you can submit if it is relevant to the topic of the assignment. Please read the question of the assignment. What does the assignment say? It talks about emotion. It talks about a person's close-up or an environmental portrait. So in that, can a wildlife photograph fit in? So please take a call, read the question carefully. All right. Maybe I can make an assignment that you can put a photograph of your own choice, in which you can then choose to take plants or wildlife or whatever. So which gives the freedom to you to interpret it and put your kind of photograph. That's a good suggestion. We could do that. I could make an assignment on that. All right. And the question under each video under reflection spot, answers submitted are recorded for each. I don't understand your question, Dr. Muralidharan. Can you please clarify?
Ma'am, when you see the video, there is some questions are asked in under the YouTube, under the multiple choice questions are asked.
Yes.
And we are answering, and they say that there are some points for that answer.
Yeah.
Is it recorded or?
No, it's not recorded. This is self-assessment.
Okay.
Self-assessment is just for your own satisfaction that okay, I am being able to follow whatever is being taught, and it's a sense of you feel happy. Okay, I could answer these 2 questions. That 1 point is default in the SWAYAM thing, but it is not graded.
Okay.
It is not a part of what is graded is the assignment I will upload. I
Okay.
will upload MCQ and I will say graded assignment. MCQ quiz number 3, MCQ quiz number 4, 5, and all. When you go there will be there will be always 10 questions.
Okay.
Those 10 questions, you must do them after seeing the videos for that week because they are linked directly to the content shown to you on Swam. If
Okay.
you watch the videos carefully, you will very comfortably and very easily be able to answer all the questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Any other question? Okay. Does the scope include application of learning in real life? Students of this course are using this. Okay, I will do that in the next interaction. That's a good question. I will try and invite students from the last course. Good Genie asks that is there any application to real life and how have the people who joined in the previous batches benefited? This is the second batch. You only had one batch last year, and I can invite some of the students from the last year's batch to come for the next interaction. The next interaction will be in the honor of World Photography Day. World Photography Day is on August 19th, and it happens to be Friday. But we will meet on Sunday because many of you are working on Friday, and you have written that you cannot make it because time zones are different. Some people are from Europe, some are from Mauritius, some are from South America. So time zones for everybody is different. So we will keep it on a Sunday, so it's easy for everybody, mostly. On 21st August, I will try and invite one or two people from last batch, and they can share how the course has benefited them professionally to get into the field of photojournalism. We'll do that. And I request Richa to make a note of this. Veena, you can't watch the video because you forgot the password to open it. What will I do? What is this issue here, Richa? You know?
Ma'am, if they forgot the password, they can log in via Google account. So they can directly log in with their Google password.
Okay. So Veena, is that clear to you that if you log in with your Google account, because automatically it will save it, it'll be linked to your Google account, and then you should be able to join in the course. Try doing that. If you, this is Bala Murugan, Office CMRC. Okay, I will make him co-host. Okay, Mr. Balamurugan, you are added as co-host now. Okay, all right. So that's it. You can join in with your Facebook ID or you can join in with your Google account, and you should be able to access it. I mean, I don't think it's a problem. All right, and the scope of this course already in the first lessons. Maybe Nicholas will also talk about it right now. Nicholas, would you like to talk about a little bit? I've spoken enough. And then Richa will share about how to join the discussion forum. We'll do that a little later. Let's have Nicholas sharing on what kind of possibilities are there after you've done this course. And maybe he can also talk about the Facebook group that we made last year, but it was not a very productive space last year because most people did not understand what photojournalism is. And so if you understand through the video lessons what we're talking about, then that is what you must try and apply in the Facebook group. All right? Yeah. Nicholas, over to you, please.
Hi, good evening to all. So first of all, I want to remind everybody, it is about photojournalism. It's not about photography. Photography, there are several photographies. Okay, you can do fashion, you can do family, you can do so many. My background is advertising photography. Then I came to other kinds of photography. So what I want to say is last year, I was very upset at what has been uploaded on Facebook. It was family, it was, I don't know. You have to keep in mind, it is very important that you are telling a story. You are a storyteller when you are a photojournalist. And the caption is as important as the picture. So if you want to share your life, it's not a good place. If you want to show the children, if you want to show the dog, if you want to show the ice cream you're eating on a Saturday afternoon, it's not a good place. And so I became really very upset by this. So I'm thinking now maybe at putting a moderator That means you cannot upload directly, but it has to be approved. Because now what happens, you can see it's terrible. So I have to connect with Leo and see how we can manage this. But it is to, in my opinion, what is the aim of this group is to encourage all of us by showing the result of a work. Okay, because photography is not like telling I'm going outside and when I'm shooting and clicking, I'm happy. Okay, but it's not the good thing and the good way to do. That means first you have to think what I want to say. And when you see what is happening, when you make the pictures, you select the pictures, you write the caption, and then you share. And then we can give opinion, this can be improved, or that cannot be improved, and this and that, maybe the light, maybe what you have used. But if we don't go on this process, then it will become terrible. You can see dogs. I love dogs. But anyway, you can see so many things which are completely disconnected with the topic of this MOOC. When you have social media, if you want to share, you have Instagram, you can put everything, everybody will look at it. So this is the first thing I want to tell you. Then the second is regarding the technical side and equipment. I'm coming from studio photography. So on studio, you have a lot of equipment. You have maybe 10, 15 lenses, you have everything. And now the deal has changed. That means we can have this kind of object, which is a smartphone. And I'm writing a paper, but it's not finished yet, but Radhika Madam maybe will go on this for the students on site is now 95% of the job done by a DSLR can be done with a mobile phone. So no need to think that you need to buy too much of equipment. It is not true. I have done several tests. I will show with very good cameras like 5D Mark III, 5D Mark IV. And what I'm doing with my mobile phone, my mobile is better. So you have to think that technically now the time on which you need to buy a lot of equipment to become a good photographer, this time is over. The photographer main quality is eye. If you have the good eye with the mobile phone, it will be very good. But if you don't have the good eye, you can make a bullshit with the best camera, you'll make a bullshit also with the mobile phone. So no need to think, I don't have the good camera, I need DSLR, I need this, I need that. No, I'm doing now professional photography for the French embassy in India. And I use only one mobile phone. And it is a Vivo. It's not a super expensive one. And with this, we can do everything. So if you go to the French embassy website, you will see all the videos and everything what is done by a single mobile phone. The only big issue with mobile phone, but it's not in photojournalism, it is in video, it is the sound recording. That means, because now I think photography also has to be linked with video. But you cannot do good sound recording with a mobile phone or with a camera. You need a special equipment for this. You need a sound recorder separate. This is compulsory. So for this, you can buy a mic like this that can be connected to your camera or to your mobile phone. These kind of microphones are given with two sets. One to be connected with the mobile phone, one to be connected with the camera. And all the camera, the mobile phone now, they have USB 3 connection. They don't have jack. But the mic also now is USB 3. So don't believe because you don't have the mic, the 3.5, on your mobile, that you cannot connect your mic. It's very simple. And it's given with a set on which you put the mobile and the mic on the same setting. If you want to do video, it's compulsory to have a good sound. And it is the main issue for people doing video with the mobile. Otherwise, there is no issue. But you have to think of the light, you have to think of cropping, you have to think composition. And frankly speaking, it's much easier to make a composition on a big screen, on a smartphone, than making composition in a very small high. I don't know in English what we can say this. The place on which you look at in the camera, which is very small. So it's very difficult to check everything. When you have a mobile in hand, you can see everything. So this is what I want to tell for the new students is, don't be scared if you don't have a good equipment. You need only good eye and good thinking. And in photojournalism, there are two kinds also. It is that you can shoot a photo because you are here. You attend an event. Okay, you are here, and then an accident happened, and then you do the photo. That means this is very short time to do the photo. Otherwise, if you make a report on a topic, you have to think. Like when you do video, when you do a photo, you have to think composition. When you see a small documentary, you can notice that you begin by a wide screen, and then it comes slowly to the main subject. In photography, you have to do this in one shot. And what is the problem is mostly you can see people doing portrait. But portrait without context in photojournalism is nothing. Because people does not understand what you speak about. It's very important for the beginning. Then if you have questions, let me know.
Thanks, Nicholas. Yeah. Any more questions you have to Nicholas? I think he's answered the questions on the chat related to digital DSLR camera and phone. I think he's very clear, and what he's saying is absolutely right. Do you have any more questions relating to?
Hi.
Yeah.
Can I?
Please go ahead. Please do.
Yeah. One is Nicholas. I think I understood what you're saying. I'm just curious that. Is it true then, based on what you said, that any top journalism magazine, like a photo taken on basically a mobile phone camera, has equal chances on going on any top journalism magazine or newspaper as a professional camera? And I'm asking this out of a naive eye because I don't have any background in this. So that is one. And the other thing is, you mentioned about storytelling, and you said that there's a difference between photography in context of photojournalism versus a normal photography like advertisement or anything. So my question is, how do you differentiate? Because in a way, every photo can be arguably said to have a story behind it. So if I'm taking photo of a stray dog on the street, in my mind, there may be a story running on the life of a stray dog, but it may not be as interesting to some other audience. So how do you think about that? Just curious, based on what you said.
I've seen also what you have written, same chance to go National Geographic. Yeah. This National Geographic, for example, is dedicated for wildlife. So you need a wildlife camera. That means it's something very, very expensive. It's not photojournalism. Photojournalists are people working for the Hindu or for the press or for the global press. This is very important. And I tell you frankly, I've done several tests because it's not only for me, it involves also the French government and the policy with all the people in charge of communication in all embassies. So we have done a lot of tests, and I am on this committee. And if you understand what are the limitations of the mobile phone, you'll get better result on the mobile. The main issue is but because does not understand. I show you something. This is a camera. Okay, you have 3 lenses. No one of these lenses are zoom. It's fixed focal. Then when you are zooming by pitching the screen, it becomes a disaster because it's not optic zoom. And when you have a camera with a DSLR and you do zooming, you can go on any focal, it will be nice because it's optics. So when you use your camera, you have to fix it is 1, you go to 1. You don't go to 2, even you have a 3. Because 2, which is between 1 and 3, it's something done by the intelligence, artificial intelligence. So it's not a real picture. It is the main issue with the camera. People are zooming, and when it's not clearly the picture taken by the camera, but something done by the computer inside the camera. So if you respect in only the focal on the camera you have, frontally you can replace easily. And in video, the stabilization of all the cameras, the mobile phone are very good now. And if you are looking, for example, you take the Samsung, you can work in 4K at a very, very high rate, like 60 pictures per second. If you want to take a DSLR doing this, you have to spend many lakhs, more than 6. So what I say is you have to use properly the phone. You have to know the limits of the phone. And then you will do the same, but not for something which is, for example, sports also, you cannot do with a mobile phone. Is it okay, Mr. Gujini?
Yeah, I think so. I in between actually I lost your voice, so I will have to listen to the recording to understand this thing. So I cannot. But I think what I got from what you said is that depending on the context, let's say if you're talking about wildlife photography or sports photography, then in that context, the consumer of those photos will need that high quality, let's say, aspects which a expensive camera will bring in, right? This is, I think, one of the thing you said, or is my interpretation wrong?
But you know, in terms of the photojournalism production, so sports and wildlife is maybe 5%. So you can focus on the 95% remaining without making a big investment.
Okay. Also, the chat actually. Also, I'm curious on your point on that example of the story of the dog example that I gave. Like, how do you differentiate between a story that's relevant for photojournalism or the journalism topic versus a normal photography? And the other thing is, in the chat, I also shared basically a photo which has been an iconic photo in National Geographic about an Afghan girl. So if you look at that, that's basically face of a woman in that photo. And
I've been looking at the link you have shared. This can be done easily with a mobile phone. No issue on this.
so when you look at this photo, do you consider it as relevant to photojournalism, or do you think it is not? Because if you say it is relevant, then I'll say why, and if you say no, then also I'll ask why, based on your initial remark.
I'm looking at this. The photos are here as an illustration for an article. That means these photos, if you don't write a caption or text, it can be anywhere, any place, and there is no sense. But it's very important to make photos also to give illustration for the text. Both are coming together.
Can I add to this, Nicholas? See your question about that, what defines a good story? You're saying that to you, a stray dog on the street is a good story to tell. And for somebody else, maybe it is not. Now, that is why it's very important when we are learning anything, even if you're a student of architecture or you are a student of art or any field, you will expose yourself to many kinds of styles and many kinds of genres and many kinds of work before you arrive at a very definitive decision that this is good and this is bad. Now, Nicholas is speaking, there's a context to what he's saying, right? The context that he is giving is that the course we're running is photojournalism. There's a group that's been created on Facebook to support the learners because they wanted to share the photography. And we thought it's not a part of the MOOC. I mean, there's no space for it to do it on the MOOC that we can see your work. But yes, we have these digital tools, we can use them. But when we created that space and we are showing you, and I will show you two links. I've opened Magnum's site for Henry Cartier-Bresson's work and Raghu Rai's work while you were speaking. I'll quickly show you those photographs. how they tell a story. What is photojournalism? What happens with time, with the reading, with seeing, with the thinking, with experiencing? You get to know that yes, this is a story that will interest many, many more other people, and they will be able to relate to it. It is not just a standalone picture which is hanging, which has no context. And yet, there are some standalone pictures that can be very interesting visually or catch our attention, and they're also part of photojournalism. So, right now, don't be in a hurry to put things in labels and put things in boxes that this is photojournalism and this is not photojournalism. What you should attempt to do, which is what I did when I started learning 35 years ago, was expose myself to the best of photography and photojournalism existing in the world. When we were growing up, there was nothing called the internet. We had to pick up a book, we had to open the pages of the book or the magazine. I have issues of the Life magazine, which went out of circulation, but I actually have hard copies of the Life magazine, which I got from some street shop in Delhi. And I would go through the photographs and see the stories and what they had. Now I can see everything online thanks to the the ability of the internet to preserve and document a lot of the work that's done before. So we all are in a very good time in terms of learning, that we have access to the best of resources which are free. But you need to know where to look, and you need to know what to consult to develop your oeuvre or your style of photography and photojournalism, and it'll come. It'll come. I don't know if I answer that.
Thank you, ma'am, for this additional perspective. I mean, it's definitely insightful when based on your rich experience, and I'm just naive. So yeah, I'll take note of your suggestions that you mentioned. And my question is coming from this perspective that basically, let's say when I take a camera in my hand or a phone in my hand, and let's say I'm aspiring to be the producing a great artwork that is considered to be a great artwork by more people. So the question is that, when I look, let's say, for example, the photography that I shared, or like any photo, I take a photo of face of a woman, and then basically I'm asking myself, what makes this photo so special? Is it the context that made it so, the iconic photos, or what? And how, I mean, this is basically I'm trying to understand that perspective, because to someone who, let's say, have not studied this, let's say basically there's an artist who does not study the history of that art, but he is just producing the art. So but for him it is basically capturing that moment in his own creative or in his own mind, and he is not think, or he or she is basically not thinking about whether the world considers it best, but in his own mind. So how does basically one can take own judgment about whether something is good or not before taking validation of, let's say, because it has come on National Geographic, that's why it is good,
It's,
versus
it's a process. It's a process. There are no shortcuts. It takes time. Even when a baby is born, it stays in the mother's womb for about 9 months, and it grows. And then when it's ready, it could be earlier than 9 months. It could be a premature baby. It could be a little later. It could be a cesarean. It could be a natural birth. But even for the baby to form fully takes at least around 9 months. Okay. And so the mother has to have patience. She can't say, "Oh, I want it I want it by 3 months. It's getting too tiring. Why? Get out, be ready by 3 months." No, you can't be ready in 3 months. This is not instant coffee. This is not instant, noodles. We're talking about a process of digesting knowledge. And first, that's why a course like this has been created, that in one umbrella, you can see different kind of photographers talking about their work. You can see different kind of photo editors and photojournalists of different who have committed themselves to different forms of photography, share their worldview, share their experiences of what informs them. And when you go through all of this video content, which has been very, very lovingly and thoughtfully created by trying to reach out to people who are exemplary in their own field, and you observe their work, you see the commentaries on their work, you go a little deeper. And when you go a little deeper into their way of looking at life, the way photography is a way of documenting a certain moment of life and people and things, then within you have the question, and you will also have the answer. The answer will come from within. This is a picture I want to make. Now, I want to pause for a few minutes. I wanted to look at these two tabs. I want to show you Henri Cartier-Bresson and Zubain's work on the death of Mahatma Gandhi. He was a French photographer. And then I'll show you Raghu's work on Bhopal gas tragedy. All of these links are shared with you, and which Richa will share. Everything has been shared with you in the course. You have to just go and click on the link. I've selected these links, which I think will help you to learn in addition to the video lesson that's been recorded. Because, you know, I can't violate copyright and show you Henri Cartier-Bresson's work or Raghurai's work on the course. I managed to talk to Raghurai. He agreed and he gave me an interview. Henri Cartier-Bresson has passed on. He's no longer alive. But their content is there. So just let's quickly, I will just scroll down, just quietly, don't speak, just pay attention to the visuals. And these links are there, which I will show you on each lesson. You have many, many links of photographs, reading materials, as well as videos. If you spend time to go through this material, you will have a complete learning in addition to what I have fabricated. So let's just quickly have a look at this thing. This is from Magnum's website. So Magnum Photos is a photo agency, and it says India, the death of Mahatma Gandhi. Somebody please admit people who are coming in. So Henri Cartier-Bresson's classic photo essay captured India at a critical time in its history. This is by Henri Cartier-Bresson. So he was in India when Mahatma Gandhi was shot, and this is what was happening at the cremation. I'm not going to go into the details. I'm just going to scroll down the pictures. Look at the text, that there is some text. There are some captions. Nicholas told you, right, that a good photograph in photojournalism needs a caption. If you don't have a caption, we don't know the context. We don't know what that photograph is about. Where is it happening? Who is there? What is the location? What is the time? What is happening? Who has taken the photograph? You know, the photo credit, as we say. So all of that makes for complete photojournalism. So here you will see here in this work by Henri Cartier-Bresson. So it says Gandhi at Birla House the day before his assassination, Delhi, India, 1948. Okay. And then Gandhi dictating a message at Birla House where he spent last days, and just before he broke his fast, Delhi, India. You look at the captions give you a context that what is happening. Okay. And Gandhi leaving Mehrauli, a Muslim shrine, one of the last appearances, an interview with Gandhi at Birla House. And then there's a little backstory on what Henri Cartier was trying to do when he created this photo essay about the partition of India, and how, you know, Gandhi was embroiled in this whole controversy or this issue of the partition of India. There is, you get to know a little bit more about the issue. You just don't see a photograph. You get to know about the context of the photograph and what was happening at that time, because future generations will not know who was Gandhi. They will not know what was this partition of India all about. They will not know about the assassination of Gandhi. So we need to give all of this text, which is not too much, but in a photo essay, we have text to prop up and photo captions to prop up the understanding for the viewer. We honor and respect the viewer. So this is the cremation, you know, I mean, after his assassination, his body at Birla House, and that's the funeral that was happening, and he's got the picture of the funeral. And look at this shot here. You see, now Henri Cartier-Bresson has got on top of a building somewhere close by to get this kind of a shot, which is like gives an overview of the thousands of people who were there that day for Gandhi's funeral. So where are you standing? From where are you taking the picture? What's your angle? What's your point of view? All of these decisions we need to make as photographers and photojournalists, that just by having a camera and standing and doing click, 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 the photograph does not happen. We need to decide what is the vantage point, which is that point from where I can show something about that scene which needs to be communicated to an audience, which through my photograph they will know. If I don't take the photograph, they will never know. So you're documenting time, you're documenting history, you're documenting happenings. And if Henri Cartier-Bresson and others had not taken the photographs, you and I would never know that this is how the funeral of Gandhi happened. Look at the lakhs of people who gathered for his funeral, and people sitting on trees, you know, and all the thousands of people teeming there, right? And Look at this, the scale. Look at the kind of, I mean, the kind of, how, and even people are taking pictures at that time, and Gandhi's ashes, and somebody has a makeshift camera, they're taking pictures, and they have the ashes being taken, and people wanting to touch the ashes. So look at it. Now, don't you feel, do you feel, just tell me the chat, do you feel there's any emotion in these pictures? If you feel there's any emotion in these pictures, put a Y. If you think there is no emotion in these pictures, put an N. The pictures that you see here are the emotions, put a Y. And if you feel they're flat pictures, just telling you, oh, somebody is going in a train, somebody is standing, somebody is being burnt. If there is no emotion, say no. All of you seem to be saying there's an emotion. Now, these are all wide angle shots. These are not portraits. These are not focusing on one person. These are group photographs of masses of people and their response to Gandhi's death. But there is an emotion. So my question to you is, when you take that stray dog on the street, does that dog convey an emotion? Does that dog make you feel that this dog needs to be cared for? That this dog is homeless and this dog could be happy with somebody to take care of her or him? If you can propel an idea through your story, then you're doing photography and photojournalism. But if it's just a casual image of just a dog standing near a dustbin, and there's a strange angle which is not a powerful angle, and there is no emotion and there is no image, then we're not telling a story. And this comes from watching great work. And even of all the links that I give it to you in every lesson, I've not given many, 4, 5, 6 for each lesson. Have a look at them. See Raghu Rai's work, see Henry Katia's work. Say, yes, Samira, you can ask the question. Please go ahead.
Uh,
Hello,
Yeah, Samira, please go ahead.
ma'am. So there could be several interpretations of any photo. Let's say if I'm taking a photo of a rickshaw wala,
Huh?
there could, so the interpretation of that rickshaw wala should be authentic.
Hmm.
Matlab, I can interpret that particular person. He's on his rickshaw and pulling his rickshaw, and so how I can decide this should be the authentic interpretation of that story.
See, this is nothing to decide. It is something called Raghu Rai. You must listen to Raghu Rai and Avinash Pastricha's. Raghu Rai got the first award by the French government given a few years ago, honoring him as one of the best photographers alive in the world. And he was competing with many other living legends from all over the world. You must listen to his, I think this is lesson 13. You must listen to what he talks about intuition. How he talks about that the picture happens. And if you are living in the present moment here and now, and if you are listening carefully, if you are watching carefully, if you're mindful, you will be able to sense that this is the way I should take a picture, and take more than one pictures if you're not sure. Move around. Take a couple of pictures from different angles. That's what Henry Cartier-Bresson and everybody did. The decisive moment is not that he took one picture. He took many, many, many pictures, and out of that, then he decided the one which was he felt was the best of that particular series of the pictures he's taken. There's a lot online on the way his decisive moment thing. So this will you will grow in it, Samira, with practice and with time. Practice makes perfect, and with time you will start getting a greater sense of confidence and a greater sense of your intuition. Your innermost antenna, your innermost sensors. There's a sensor in the camera, right? And the sensor in the camera helps you to technically record the image. But there is another sensor in each one of us. You could call it intuition. You could call it what Nicholas said, your way of seeing, your way of thinking. That is going to make the picture. So am I going to take a top angle view, which is going to reduce somebody to a small size? Will I take a low angle picture, which will make somebody larger than life? Or will I kind of feel that, for example, here in Henry Cartier-Bresson's feeling that this image, I need to show the scale. I need to show how many people are there at the Ganga when the ashes of Gandhi are being immersed. I need to show how many thousands of people, lakhs of people are thronging to say farewell to Mahatma Gandhi. So he knew what he wanted to convey. He knew what is the story he wanted to tell the world, that how India was mourning the loss of Mahatma
Excuse me,
Gandhi.
excuse me,
Yeah,
ma'am. As you mentioned, ma'am, that this only miss he knows what is the story behind all these photos. So he took all these pictures and narrated the story. But in another case, when we don't know the story, the reason of that particular photo, we have to create. Huh? This is what you want to convey.
you have to find out the reason. In good photography, there is good research, Samira. Without good research, there is no photojournalism. Remember, photojournalism is a combination of photography and journalism. And journalism is about being based on facts or information. And in journalism, we find out what are the facts of the story. Then it is your interpretation. Like Bhopal gas tragedy, when I'll show you the next work of Raghu Rai, even Pablo Bartolome was there at the Bhopal gas tragedy. Even he documented the Bhopal gas tragedy, and so did Raghu Rai. And they have some images which are similar. But each one of them went to the tragedy, and there was even Desik and Krishnan, whom you've already seen in the videos. If you who will be joining us in some later interaction at some time, even he recorded the Bhopal gas tragedy. So hundreds of photographers reached at the site of the Bhopal gas tragedy, and they all took pictures from their sensibility, from their aesthetics of making a composition, of how they relate to the tragedy. And all those pictures are there for us to see and to inform us on the great tragedy, the chemical tragedy of the Bhopal gas tragedy. And they all have been working for many, many, many years. It's not that I decide today I want to take a picture and I just go there. I mean, you have to have an education, and that's why you join this course, right? And by the end of this course, you'll feel much more confident. You won't feel lost that, I don't know how to do it, because you are getting exposure to the masters. The best in the country have been interviewed, and they have very honestly and sincerely shared a whole lifetime of engagement with photography and photojournalism. If you can catch what all these people are saying, and I'm knitting it all together for you, I think you will probably in a few weeks you'll start to feel a little bit more confident, and then you just try. Don't worry, don't judge yourself. Start taking pictures.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, and thank you, ma'am, for offering this course. I'm finding it very interesting.
Ma'am,
My
Thank you.
pleasure.
just one related question, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
How does the concept of decisive moment or spontaneity tie in with consent, especially if it's a human being involved, right?
Yeah.
Who's the subject of the photograph?
Right. Now, see, now this comes into the domain of ethics of photography or photojournalism. That where is it right to kind of enter into somebody's personal space and take a picture, and without consent, somebody is grieving, somebody is dying. Crying on and mourning the loss of a dear one, and you are documenting that tragedy. Is it fair for you to document that moment? Are you kind of intruding into their privacy, or are you reproducing the image in a light which is kind of derogatory or putting them down, or are you actually helping the world to see what they've gone through, and and not because of their own fault, but because of the fault of somebody else, and something needs to be done to correct that issue. So, being human means we are constantly thinking, feeling, imagining. We are not unilateral beings. We are not making kind of unidimensional decisions based only on one parameter or the other parameter. When I make even the words that I speak right now, I'm not planning in advance because I don't know the question you will ask me in advance. You just said this right away. Okay, and I have to respond to you in the moment. It's in the moment. It's no preparation. I have no
Yeah.
idea what question is coming, but I have to listen to you carefully. I have to understand the intent of your question. I have to understand the confusion or the dilemma that you feel is there in terms of ethics. That without consent and permission, is it right to take a photograph? And you have a sincere and genuine concern here. So, what I can see is an ethical question here. And what I can say to you that this question is going to be taken up many times by many people through the course. And they will give examples of what they did in a particular situation, looking at their own insight or their decision making on that this was right to take a picture they were not doing something wrong. But in other cases, they stepped back and they didn't take the picture because they felt that they would be be voyeuristic and using somebody's grief to make a picture. So these are very higher order thinking skills which has to be developed with time. So
Correct. And ma'am, like as you said, right, it can be a multitude of factors, for example, right, to decide perhaps is it justifiable not or not, right? So do you think photojournalism as opposed to street photography, it's perhaps easier to make to justify it ethically? Of course, it would depend on, perhaps the event, the broader context, behavior, understanding the environment. But street photography as opposed to photojournalism, do you think, there's a is it easier to sort of take a stand to justify your photograph?
see, the point is there is no need to justify. You just need to know that what you're doing for you. You see, each one of us as a human being, we have a sense or compass of integrity, right? Each one of us has our own compass of integrity. I think stealing somebody's, computer or mobile is not right. I should not steal somebody's mobile, even though I want Nicholas's mobile. I cannot steal it. It is unethical. Okay, but I can work over a period of time and I can earn myself the money to be able to buy a similar mobile. Now, within me, there is a compass of integrity and virtues that tells me what's right and wrong. So I don't need to justify it to anybody. If I know what I'm doing is right because I have really thought about it, then I stick to my principles and I do that. And if I think that what I'm doing, I'm not comfortable with it, then I don't do that.
No, got it. Thanks, ma'am. Ma'am, and I just had one more question. I can take it later as well. Not a
Yes.
problem. Otherwise, I can take it now. So I think Nicholas briefly mentioned that videography will also have a role to play in photojournalism going forward, right?
Yeah.
I just thought some additional perspective on that point would be helpful. And do you think that going forward, photojournalists, like for photojournalists, photography and videography are, both equally important skill sets that will play a role, or would people still be in a position to perhaps focus on photojournalism as opposed to video journalism, for example?
See, now if you listen to Prashant Panjiar's, I don't know if you saw Prashant Panjiar's lessons, and very soon, I think lesson 7 will be Soumya Khandelwal. She's an independent young woman photographer, photojournalist based from Delhi, works for Reuters, Washington Post, and many, many credible organizations, Nat Geo, on a freelance basis. She's commissioned work by them, and she's a young person who did a diploma in photography from Jamia Delhi. And she also talks at great length that how you have to be a multi-performer, a multitasker. When you are commissioned and you work, then they're asking you not only to file a photograph, they're also asking you to file a video.
Okay.
Because they're paying you a lot of euros or a lot of dollars or whatever, and you have a fixer. A fixer is somebody, a local person who, because you don't know, you come to Auroville or Pondicherry and you don't know Tamil, but you are from the north of India and you're doing a story on Auroville. And so you need a fixer, which is a local person who helps you to go to the location, to translate things for you on location and whatever. But you, like Nicholas just said, that Henry Cartier-Bresson was not Henry Cartier-Bresson because of his 50 Leica, but he was Henry Cartier-Bresson because of his way of seeing, and likewise for Raghurai, who's featured in this course. It's your way of seeing that creates a different image, which the same person, you and me standing there, may not take that photograph because you don't have that vision. So likewise, photography, videography is an extension of photography. It's visual communication, but it's moving pictures with sound. And like Nicholas very rightly said, the quality of sound has to be good. Otherwise, we've lost it. We've lost our audience. They can't hear what we're saying. Then what's the point? So today's photographers and photojournalists are equipped to file stories as photographs, as well as text, even writing, and also videography. And Soumya will speak at great length in her lesson. She will talk about all of this.
Got it. Thanks, ma'am.
Welcome. Is there another question here? I don't know if I missed
I would
it.
like to, Radhika, excuse me.
Nicholas, please, yeah, go ahead, Nicholas.
I would like to add something, is that now the trend is not only in photojournalism. If you are working in communication for administration, big institution, like very big multinational companies, the communication officers now are in charge of doing photos and videos. So that means the first level is photo, but video is like photo, is exactly the same, but you have some time. And what is important also is the change of media. Before internet, media were only print media.
Yeah.
And in a few years, there will be no more print media. That means it will be online. But people are not willing to read. You can see now Facebook, you see what they say, the short video, the stories and this,
Yeah.
and it is 50-second short video. So that means photojournalists, communication officers have to learn how to tell a story in 50 seconds. So
Understood.
it
Thanks.
comes through photos, it comes through video, but it is anyway the same thing. You are telling a story. It can be horizontal, it can be vertical, it can be on TikTok. Maybe you don't know, or you know that now there is a big fighting between Facebook and TikTok. So Facebook is changing his rules also to show the video. So now Facebook is promoting stupid videos like TikTok. And I've noticed that a lot of big institutions has lost maybe more than 75% of their audience.
Yeah, and I
Because
think it has impacted people
social
as
media,
well. Like
don't
even
believe
individuals.
it is the social media which is showing what it wants to show. So the trend is coming to the video, the trend is coming to social media. But anyway, a good picture will remain a good picture. What has done Cartier-Bresson in 1948 is still good because it was good. So like paintings, you take painters from the Middle Age, painters today or painting. If the composition is good, it is good.
Understood.
Only
And
the skill is changing.
thanks.
Kiki has a question. Kiki, go ahead.
Yeah, I have question related, still related with consent of the subject. Usually I work with video. The subject or the person usually can talk directly to the camera. So we don't lose time like Surab asked as well about the consent. But what about photography? We might lose the moment if we ask first or something. On some medias as well, I know they usually ask consent letter from the subject, but usually many moments that we cannot ask them.
Yeah.
But yeah, in
Are you a reporter, Kiki? Are you a reporter with a news organization?
I'm freelancer.
Okay, okay. So you are basically freelancing for what? Television channels or websites, or what kind of organizations do you work for?
Usually I do with NGOs
Okay.
and some medias, but mostly I do like videography, like documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious how the people who work mainly focusing with photography do, because in video I can ask the consent of the subject to talk directly to the camera. It means when the subject like give gesture or something directly to the camera and they give me their consent. But what about photography?
Okay, I'll answer your question. Give me a few minutes. Look at Bhopal gas tragedies coverage by Raghurai. Just look at it. And then just look at it carefully, and then I will answer your question. Maybe you'll also have the answer yourself. Maybe to give you the answer. So let me share this video. This is also from Magnum's website, and this is news, and it says exposure, portrait of a corporate crime. And Magnum photographer Raghurai documents the ongoing tragedy following the explosion in 1984 of the Union Carbide's pesticide plant in the Indian city of Bhopal. Okay, this is by Raghurai.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just look at the pictures. Now these are photographs, and this is a victim. The person here, Hassan Ali, 70 years old, is a victim of the gas disaster. Okay, and he has 7 grown-up daughters. And Raghurai has taken an upfront photograph showing Hassan Ali and his daughters here. Okay, now let's go on. Sorry, I have to go on the slider here. Just a second. And you look at this image. Fetuses which were aborted by pregnant women while escaping from the gas were preserved by Dr. Satpathy, a forensic expert at the state government's Hamida Hospital. And you can look at these links later. You just get an idea of the pictures Raghurai has taken of the tragedy. Okay, Muhammad Rehan, 18 years old, was 1 year old when he was exposed to the toxic gas. He's undergone 2 heart surgeries, and doctors say his lungs are severely damaged. Muhammad Aziz returns to the cemetery where 4,000 people were buried in the first days of the 1984 disaster, Bhopal, India, 2002. Crime, skulls discarded after research at the Hamida Hospital. Medical experts believe that the toxic gas inhaled by the people of Bhopal may have affected the brain. These women have all lost their husbands in the Bhopal tragedy. They now live in one-room tenements in a separate widows' colony in the outskirts of the city, built by the state government. A man carries the body of his dead wife past the deserted Union Carbide factory, the source of the toxic gas that killed her the night before. Now, he's not taken permission, right? He's not gone to that man and said, "You're carrying your wife, and can I take a picture of you carrying your wife?" Obviously not. He's not going to go to him and say that, I need to take a picture. He has found, because he's so alert, he's so vigilant, which is what Henry Cartier-Bresson talks about in the decisive moment, that you know something is happening, and are you ready? Are you ready with your camera to be able to get that moment when it happens? Or do you miss it because you are distracted or your mind is elsewhere? All right. And can you take permissions at all times? No, you can't. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, and sometimes you don't need to take a permission. Let me carry on. Nanko, now 76-year-old, was independent and able to provide for his family. Since the disaster, he has become a beggar. Muhammad Arif has pulmonary fibrosis due to the toxic gas, a condition that can only be cured by replacing the lungs. Look at the emotion in the eyes, look at the face, and Raghura is not pretending that he is not there. Raghura is there, and Muhammad Arif is looking at his camera, and you have this image, which is a very definitive image. Now, there are different kinds of images. Some people looking into your camera, some people not looking into your camera, some people walking past and you're taking a picture. All these possibilities may happen when you take a photograph. Anything is possible, but you have to see what is it that you want to document, what is it that you want to tell. If you were Raghurai, which is a question I asked on the discussion forum, which only one person answered out of the 100 people who joined the discussion forum, that how would you look at photography, how would you look at tragedy, what would you do? Because the whole idea is to make you start thinking on your relationship with photography and photojournalism. If that is not sorted out, the photograph will not happen. It's not a mechanical wedding photography kind of scenario. This elderly woman was badly injured when exposed to the poisonous gas. Everyone else in her family died. It's 1984. Masked protesters gathered at a statue in front of the Union Carbide factory to demand that they release research made on the effects of the toxic gas in order to better treat human damages. Jamila Bai and Shah Jahan work in a stationery center run for gas victims run by the state government. Neither is married. No one wants to marry a sick gas victim girl, in quotes, says Alia Bai. So you can see he has spoken to the his subject here. In this case, he has spoken to them and he has a bite, a quote from them that he quotes here. That Alia Bai says that nobody wants to marry a Bhopal gas, a sick gas. Sometimes you may talk to your subjects and make a rapport with them and include what you have to say to make your story more stronger. And sometimes you don't have that option. You can just take a picture of something happening fleetingly in front of you. Sometimes those people are there, but they don't have the language to talk to you, or they are too overpowered and overwhelmed to be able to speak. And you can silently only show their grief, their sadness through your pictures. You can't really quote them. Different conditions will exist when you go out as a photographer and photojournalist. You will have to assess the situation. You will have to see what is possible, and you'll have to go ahead and do the best you can do in the circumstances. Muhammad Khan in the cemetery where his son, who was exposed to the gas, is buried. Rubeda Banu with her 3 sons At the moment of the disaster, the two elder boys were a week and 18 months old. The youngest was born 1 year after the disaster. They are all less than 5 feet. So you can read on. All these links are there in your SWAYAM online resources. Swaraj Puri was the superintendent of police in Bhopal at the night of the disaster, one of the very few senior officers that did not flee to safety. Okay, so how he did his duty in spite of the fact that he was at danger. And look at the relationship of foreground, mid-ground, and background. This picture is what we call has a good depth of field. It has something in the plane, in the front plane, the foreground, then mid-ground and the background, a junior officer looking on. Gives us the context that he's in a official sort of a office, cabin, and he's in his uniform, and there's a body language. So many things are happening in this photograph to make the photograph visually interesting to us, and just not him sitting there. So that is what, as Nicholas said, your way of seeing. How do you capture a gesture, a moment, an emotion, a movement, which can be maybe dramatic or emotional or interesting, which has something to tell and which gets my attention. I want to see it. And my eyes fall on it and they rest there. I'm not in a hurry to move. That's it. Okay. So, and quickly, what I'm going to show now is 1 second. Now you can see here, this is on my email. I just welcome Kiki. So on my email, you can see I've just put it for you to know quickly. So you every lesson in the e-text, which Richa will shortly show you the document so that you know how to access all these resources that are available to you, which have been put together and curated so that it is supplementary knowledge and necessary knowledge in addition to the video lessons that have been created. All right. So you can see here, I put there the online resources: Bhopal gas tragedy, Raghu Rai's photographs, Mahatma Gandhi's funeral, 9/11 photographs, Alan Kurdi. Dinesh Krishnan talks about Alan Kurdi. Dinesh Krishnan is Hindu's photo editor. Then in lesson 2, online resources, again, there are all these stories on how do you tell a story, how do you get a story, what are the kind of ethics and, kind of your attitude you need to develop while taking up the story. And then again, Gurinder Usan, and he's talking about photography, so his website where you see all his work. You will see it even later on in the course. We will feature his work, but right now in the beginning, you can see the kind of work he's done. And you can see all these links on helping you to develop your sensibility, your knowledge, your understanding of how to do photography, what is photography, and what is photojournalism. And in Prashant Panjiar's case, he has documented tsunami. He has documented cyclone Nargis. I will not open all of these links right now, but all of these links are available to you in the e-text section. And then what is a photo story in photojournalism? Okay. And all of these information has been given to you. But it's like I can lead the horse to the water, but I can't make the horse drink the water. I can't say drink. If you want to drink, the water exists. Without drinking the water, your thirst will never be quenched. So one person, Radhika, or another person, Nicholas, is not the answer to all your questions. We are there as facilitators to help you kind of put you onto the path of learning. But there is, if you're interested in photography and photojournalism, this is what I did to learn. I'm not here just by, like that. My journey started in 1990 when I joined the AJK MCRC, Mass Communication Research Center in Jamia Millia Islamia. I did my mass communication from Jamia after doing psychology. I graduated in 1992. 2 years as a student of Jamia, we had a lot of exposure to a lot of good video, radio, graphics, theater, photography. We met filmmakers, we went to film festivals, we watched films, we listened to music concerts because I was in Delhi, and Delhi is a very happening city. And all those influences have helped me to be who I am today. And that is what Prashant Panjiar, if you've listened to him, says. He says, if you're not reading good books, if you're not looking at artwork, if you're not listening to good music, you're going to be a very one-dimensional human being. And your photographs may be good if you're really talented and gifted, but you need to hone yourself as a complete person to be able to see that moment. which people like Raghurai and Henri Cartier-Bresson exemplify. Okay, all these links are available for you in the course. Go to them, have a look at them, and many of your answers will come when you read. And these are not some very heavy intellectual links I'm giving to you. Very simple, very enjoyable, short, either PDFs or photographs or videos that will help you understand the various nuances of photojournalism. Yes, there's something on the chat. Yeah, you will learn editing tips, Siddharth, in terms of image processing. We don't do image manipulation in photojournalism. In creative photography, you can do anything. You know, you can Photoshop, you can add filters, you can change the colors. But since photojournalism is based on reality and the reality should not be distorted or manipulated, it's an ethical question. Therefore, we can do certain amount of image processing to restore the image to what it actually was, which our camera could not get. That we can do it. Yes, that is allowed even by big organizations like Nat Geo. Usually they will do it. You'll give them the raw file. They will get the raw file, and their team of photo editors will do the correction or the image processing to bring in a certain color or correct the image if they feel it's lacking. And you will need to have a workflow when you are editing to make your work more efficient. And you will learn about all of this. You will learn about photography. You will learn about image processing. You will learn about workflows in working. You'll be introduced to various genres of photography like sports, wildlife, travel, social documentary. We're going to cover a lot in 50 lessons, and it's quite a lot actually. And I hope you'll not be gasping for breath, that you'll be able to keep pace and burn and dodge, Siddharth. It can be done today. It used to be done manually in the age of the enlarger developer traditionally. Now, through these softwares, Lightroom and Photoshop and all, you can do something. But again, the question is it necessary? Do you need to do a burn and dodge? Why do you want to do a burn and dodge? Why? I mean, is it an artistic image that you want to highlight something and therefore you're burning and dodging, and you take the responsibility for it and you're not really changing the image? Go ahead. If it's your discretion, your discrimination that should tell you, is this the right thing to do in this context, or is this not the right thing to do in the context? Like in fashion photography, you can do pretty much anything because that's a creative representational field, or studio photography, advertising photography. You're setting up. But in photojournalism, we are not setting up. We are documenting as it is.
Shall I add something?
Please, Nicholas. Yeah.
So, in fact, in my opinion, the limit of editing is very simple. There is what you see, and there is what you get. And sometimes, and more often with a camera, not with a mobile phone, you have a difference because the range and the dynamic range of the picture given by the camera is different of the range of your eye. So if you want to improve the picture, to put the picture at the same thing you have seen, you must, because you are showing what you have seen, and sometimes there is a distortion. It's too dark, it's too this and that. So that you can do in editing, but you must not change the reality. You are telling facts. So that means you cannot do anything. You can only put the picture you have done to what you have seen. And sometimes there is a huge difference because of technical lacks, mistakes, or it's very difficult in night photography. There are some details you cannot see on the picture, but you have seen with your eyes. So this you can do. And I would like to add two things also. When you see the job done by Raghurai, for example, look also at the light. If you see the picture taken with the policeman, he has chosen the best angle so that the gentleman is on the light. So he is directly highlighted by the scene. So lighting is also, when you go to upper level, very important. And to come back to some question, you will get emotion when you'll be ready to get it. So that means you have to master all the techniques. No need to think about deep field, this. So then after with your eyes, when you completely master the techniques, then you can shoot at the good time to capture and to take the emotion. Which is what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Nicholas. Very nicely expressed, and I think it really clears there. Um, Good Genie, you raised a hand. Mayur, I'll answer your question, but Good Genie, you raised a hand.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. My question was related to two dimensions of copyrights. One was when we take a photo, uh, do we automatically get the copyright? That's one. And second is, let's say there's a I'm taking the subject. Let's say I'm taking a photograph of a person, any public politician or someone. So, am I like can I do that legally and then upload it because the dimension of this having the copyrights also comes into the play, right?
No, don't confuse copyrights with your power to take photography. Power to take photography is one different area that you take a picture. Copyright is that you own the creative right, the intellectual property right over your work, and you do not want other people to use the work either without permission or without paying you a certain amount of royalty or money. Like, for example, a lot of people sell their works to Getty Images and Shutterstock.
Yeah.
And when we take a subscription of Getty Images or Shutterstock and we want to use a certain image for a certain purpose, then we pay Getty Images or Shutterstock a certain fee. And it's a commercial model that they get a little bit of money and a certain amount of money goes to the photographer. So you're getting passive income out of your photography. But like you see, Raghu Rai, all of these people, their photographs, I cannot use without their permission because they are the copyright owners of their work. So that is why I can give you the links of his work unless I have explicit written permission that I can use his work in the editing. Now, in the posts, wherever the photographers have given me permission to use their work, you will find their photographs in the edit in my video lesson.
The video.
Yeah, that is where I got permission, so I'm not violating any copyright law. But where I was not able to get permission because they were very busy and I tried and tried, but I had to finish the editing and I could have got the permission, but I was working on a time bound schedule and I didn't get the permission. So I concentrated on the interview and I have supplemented it with their work, which is available for anyone to see on Raghurai's own website online. You can go to Raghurai's website, the links are given, and you can browse all his work. But he's doing it on his website. You can only see his work on his website because he holds the copyright for it. Okay, that's a different matter. Taking a photograph, now all the news photojournalists, when some politician is doing a rally or something, they don't go up to Stalin or and can I take a photograph, sir? No. Who's going to give you permission to take a photograph? You are out of the 100 photographers there, something is happening and you're also getting pictures. You're trying to get the best angle because your newspaper or website also wants to file a picture which is their staff photographer. Or you may get the picture from PTI. If you listen to Gurinder Osan's lesson was in the first week. He is the photo editor of the Press Trust of India. There are 127 photographers who work under him from all over the country. And when I went and met him in the PTI office in New Delhi on Parliament Street, there's 24 hours, it's a buzzing office on shifts. Story pictures are coming from all over the country. Their correspondents and photographers in every region are filing pictures to the PTI head office in Delhi. From there, they are making the decision of which photographs to send out to their subscribers. All their subscribers get all the feed, and they can choose to use any picture and say, give a source, courtesy or source PTI, image source or credit PTI. So it's a wire agency. It gets images because every organization can't hire people to cover the entire country. And that is why you have AFP, you have Reuters, you have PTI. These are news agencies, wire news agencies that will have an entire arsenal of photographers and photojournalists, and you can subscribe to them. All right. So there are all ways of functioning. You can take a photograph, you can give your photograph to some agency who wants it. You can be a freelancer. And you don't really need to take a permission. But what I said earlier on, you have to take a judgment on this picture. Is it okay for me to take without imposing myself or kind of being very mean and using somebody's grief just for my reputation or my fame? And you see in Bhopal last tragedy, how much he has documented the grief of people. Nowhere we feel that Raghurai is being insensitive, or he's just intruding into their personal space, and he's taking images that are not in the right taste. Yeah, Guchini.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for the clarification. The one dimension that I think maybe if you can speak on that also is that yes, for sensitive issues, definitely it becomes important for you to take the judgment whether it is right or not. But let's say sometimes when we are taking photograph of where it is prohibited to take a photograph, that is one dimension. But something news, something that is worth showing to something wrong is happening, but it's for example in a public office, uh, it may be that something wrong is happening and you are there, and let's say you want to capture that wrong thing as so does something like that can get you in trouble based on your
It can get into trouble. It's called sting journalism, that you're doing it on the sly and you don't really want people to know you're doing it, but you're doing it, and it can get you into trouble. Now you have to weigh the pros and cons. Do you really want to do it? Is it worth taking the risk? Is it a story in public interest? Is your taking that picture of that moment help portray or show about the corruption that's happening? Will it help a cause? Or, like, for example, I'll give you an example. I think I've shared them in the MOOC as well. There are a lot of people who've taken pictures about the sand mafia in the country, across the country. And most of these photojournalists and journalists who have recorded the sand mafia, the illegal mining of sand, and doing it with the support of the local politicians and industry people, they have taken the pictures, they have exposed them, they have carried the stories, but they have faced life threats. They have faced threats. They are under protection. Some of them have been murdered. So the thing is, when you take up something where somebody's interest is going to be affected, and they feel you are in the way, there are people like Gauri Lankesh, there are a lot of other journalists you must have heard about, that they were murdered, they were shot. There were journalists against sand mafia who've been shot. There are other photojournalists in smaller towns in the country that have been shot and murdered in accidents because they were raising issues which were uncomfortable. But still, they do that because they believe that's their duty.
Yeah. Okay.
So each human being needs to decide what you think is what you want to do with your life, your art form, your photography and photojournalism skills, and how far you want to go.
All right. And the photos that these photojournalists take, they get the copyrights, or the agency to which they basically sell their photos, basically they get
Agency.
the agency.
Once they've given it to the agency, they have no right over their own photographs. All the people whom I worked, Dinesh Krishnan, Gurinder Asan, they could not show any of their work because it's all owned by PTI or the Hindu. And so they don't have any right over their own work. They have right over their personal work, which they were willing to share with me, which they've done on a travel or a story they've done personally. But once they work with the organization, then it belongs to the organization. And out of all the organizations I spoke to, the only organization which was very generous and gave me permission was Matrabhumi in Kerala. So Matrabhumi gave me permission to use their photographs, the editor of Matrabhumi, and they have a watermark. If you see the pictures I've used in the edit, there's a watermark of Matrabhumi, and they have given me legal permission to use archival pictures of Gandhi's funeral and it took a lot of time for me to select pictures. They looked into their archives from the 1940s and they gave me images. And so they were generous and they gave me. But the other places, I wrote like 20, 30, 40 emails. Nobody responded because they're very busy.
Okay.
And unless you give me permission, I can't use their work in my editing. That's not done. That's not ethical.
Yeah, that's right. And this question pops always in my head. Like, let's say I'm taking photograph of Taj Mahal, which is a public monument. So, and I take a photo of that, and I, let's say, publish on my Facebook, social media, or Instagram, whatever. So automatically I become kind of the copyright owner of the photo, and before anyone can use it, they have to take my permission. That is what the way things work, or is there
see, right now, Good Genie, you're not a big name, so you maybe like when you become somebody big, you will say like you will you will say that there'll be C, a copyright C mark on your photograph. And you would tell people that, they need to write an email to pay you for this thing. Right now, if you want to let people know that they need to take permission from you, you have to communicate that to people. You have to say this is copyright and that they need to reach out to you through email or whatever to be able to use your intellectual work. You have to communicate. Otherwise, if it's somewhere available, it'll be reposted by somebody. You have to
Okay.
protect your own interest.
Okay. By maybe adding a caption at the bottom, but not a C. That will.
No, don't get into all of this right now. Wait till the end of this course, then you'll be ready for it. This is too early for you to think about it.
Okay.
First, master your, your ways of working. And lot of people are going to be talking about copyright and exhibitions and fellowships and grants and funding, and lots is going to be talked. Each and everything that can help you to make a career. Dr. Archana had asked a question that's something to do with how do you take a what should be kept in mind before taking pictures. Dr. Archana, are you there? Are you still there? Yeah, you're there. Dr. Archana, you should see the first 3 lessons. Have you seen the first 3 lessons, the qualities and skills to be a photojournalist? Have you seen those videos? Dr. Archana? If you see those videos, yeah, doesn't that answer your question? That what are the qualities and skills that you need to take pictures? Mindfulness, concentration, patience, eye for detail. I think I've pretty much spelled out a good basket of ideas that helps us to make pictures. And that's it. Just start taking pictures and start sharing those pictures with this understanding of the context of photojournalism, if you wish to, in the Facebook group. I think you can even share pictures on the discussion forum. You can upload an image on the discussion forum. I think so. And the image can be uploaded on the SWAYAM discussion forum, and all of you on the discussion forum can see the picture and comment on it. I think it's possible. I can upload a PDF or a JPEG, and I think try it out. You should also be able to do that. And then you can ask, this is what I did, and is it fine or not? Then peer group learning. Others can respond to it. I can respond to it. And likewise in Facebook as well. Kibi Rich, what does the question personal space mean? Sorry, I don't understand you. What do you mean by personal space?
Yes, greetings, man. Greetings, everyone. So, you talked about personal space in photojournalism. That as long as you don't interfere with someone's personal space, then you're free to take a picture. But then I have failed to understand the scope of personal space. Does that mean that even though I find you doing something wrong, I should first inquire from you before taking that picture, just because I am supposed to respect your personal space? What is personal space, in other words?
I think you joined in a little late. We did discuss about this earlier on. I think you joined late, but quickly I will tell you, it's not a fixed thing that it's fixed in, that this is the way to do and not to do. You will have to study and observe the merits of that situation. That situation is such that you need to take a picture, because that picture will help the world to know what this person is going through, like Alan Kurdi's image of that boy who drowned when the Syrian refugees were trying to cross. And but there's certain places where a woman, you're taking a picture and she says, no, don't take a picture. No, I don't want to take a picture. Go. Now she's telling you, I don't want the camera. And then still we take a picture. That we should not do. If she is not comfortable and she says, I don't want to take my picture, please go away, then we have to respect that and go the personal space and the personal choice. But when you take a picture, the other person does not oppose and does not stop you from taking a picture in that way, even though she or he is not saying, I give you consent, by letting you take the picture, because you're not hiding and taking a picture, you're taking a picture and the person knows you're taking a picture. That means you, as a photojournalist, have the right to document that situation, because that's your work, right? To show the truth through photography. And if you will not show the photograph, how would we know that something like this happened? And that's why I showed you the example of Bhopal gas tragedy and Mahatma Gandhi's funeral, that these were historical events. both were tragedies in their own way, and a personal tragedy and a tragedy which affected many, many people, and how photographers went in and documented it so that we would know what happened that day, that time, that place. So, really, it is refining our own judgment, our own sensibilities, and which all the questions each one of you is asking me today, and Nicholas, each one of them are already answered in some lesson or the other. If you actually listen, even if you don't watch, if you just listen to what people are saying in the video lessons, a lot of your doubts will become clear because we have raised all these issues. A lot of research and homework went in to plan what is it that we should introduce to learners in photojournalism, because it's not only about doing photography, it's more than just taking a picture, it's a lot more. Yeah. And there's a question by Mayur Bhandari. Workflow management. Mayur, if you're there, yes, you'll have that. You will have one or two lessons by Gopinath Srikandane, and he'll talk about how do you organize your photographs. He gives his example that how does he make folders, and from those folders, how does he label them? Because he has work of 30 years. 30 years of photography work, if he does not organize and keep it, then, and he's doing wildlife photography, he's photographing frogs, he's photographing Sri Lankan refugees, he's working for NGOs. So his work is very diverse in terms of subjects and time. Say from 1984 till now, he has taken photographs, right from the TLR and rangefinder and SLR cameras to the digital camera now and mobile. So how does he organize his uh, vast body of work so he can quickly retrieve the work at a click if he needs to give it to a client? So all of that of how to organize your work is going to be two video lessons on organizing your work. If you look at the weekly, if you look on the SWAYAM dashboard, the weekly outline, 15 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you read the title, you will see I have explained this in the title when we are doing.
Thanks, man.
Welcome. Yeah. Any other question?
Dr. Radhika, I had one question. I'm Vikas Bajpayee this side.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. As regards, photography or any other visual art form and all, how much of a difference should we expect, say, from what would have been in-person learning and from what is going to be online learning? Because as a teacher also, I often have to deal with this dilemma, because we've been through these online classes.
Yeah.
And while the subject I teach, public health and all, most of the classes, they are theoretical and all, but a thing like photography or say painting and art, they are I don't know how easy or how difficult it is to transact it through online medium.
All right. Have you had the opportunity to see any of the videos so far, sir?
Oh yes, I have. I've already finished the videos for the first week. I registered yesterday, so
Okay.
I've been.
So what's your response? I want you to help me to give you the answer.
See, in the videos that I've been through till now, they have dealt with more of what is photojournalism, what are the attributes of a photojournalist, what you should be having in your mind, and those kind of aspects. It's okay, but it's not yet come to the maybe, what shall I say, the artistic or aesthetic or technical aspects of making a photo per se.
Yeah. Because you're in week 1, it'll start happening from week 2, and then it will accelerate in week 3, and then slowly we'll building on it. Why I ask you this question is, what I want to ask you, these 3 videos that you saw, did you think that they were good enough for you, of a person wanting to learn photojournalism? Do you think that they were in any way lacking, or do you think that they give you good enough orientation or a beginning to the course?
No, I would not answer it from my standpoint. I would answer it from, say, an average person standpoint who is wanting to enter into the field of photography, I think yes, it gives him or her a good kind of entry point as such, and beginning with the basics and all. I mean, as far as I am concerned, my priming has happened in different ways because of my different involvements to many of these aspects, not just strictly in terms of photography per se, but in terms of contextual factors of what is to be pictured and how and why and with what sensitivity and all that. So well, okay, I mean, I'm still keen to learn. I'm always a good student. I don't know if I'm a good teacher, but I'm a good student, so I'm keen to learn, and I'll I'll carry it through.
So because what I want to say, I've been teaching photojournalism since 2004 in person. Okay. I was teaching at the UG level in Delhi University in BA Honors Journalism course. And then I moved to Pondicherry University at the postgraduate level. I've been teaching photojournalism. So I have both the experiences of teaching the subject in person, and now since last year, the experience of teaching this online. And to me, this is my perception, and everybody will have their own take on this. My perception is that because I had been teaching this for a good 15, 16 years, and I anticipated that what are the kind of things people will want to know if they want to learn photojournalism, or what are the kinds of exposure to various dimensions of photojournalism and ways of seeing and doing, including managing your portfolio, image processing, ethics, and so on and so forth that need to be covered. So in a way, I feel my in-person interaction, which I get a few hours with my students in campus, I can only do a little bit with them in those 4 or 5 hours according to the credits. But in this online course, I have been able to stitch together such a wide gamut of stimulating content in which not only I, but 25 other people are featured. And they are, because they could be recorded and digitally, be brought into the course, because we don't have to go to them personally. And I tell everybody that you can do my course in person, but I recommend that more that you do this course online. But only if you're committed to the process of learning will you get maximum benefit. If you take it like, oh, the teacher is not there, I don't need to see the video, then you won't get the benefits of the course. So the best thing is hybrid learning. What we are doing right now, we are doing blended learning or hybrid learning. That the MOOC only gives you pre-recorded lectures, but it's my choice to choose to meet you every 2 weeks, so that any questions that are fermenting in the ones who are really motivated and are interested, I should be, and my colleagues and other photographers should be available for you to be able to have a sense of that we can meet people and ask a question. Of course, it can't be done in person because there are people from all over the world here, and that's not logistically possible. But I think online is a great way to supplement our learning resources. And if you're really interested, anyone here, you can actually go and join an in-person course after this with any teacher across the country, where you could do a diploma, or you can do a private course, or whatever you feel is lacking still, you can do more.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very
Welcome,
much.
welcome. There was another question here. Application comes, good genie, it just comes. Like I said, the Facebook group was created for application, but we didn't see it being used optimally for application. That what you see Henry Katia Brasson's work, you see Raghu Rai's work, you see Prashant Panjiar's work, you see different assignments, you see how photojournalists are working, thinking. Then you start thinking, look around you where you are, in your locality, in your town, in your city, in your school, in your college. Which are the stories you can tell? And you start making these stories, maybe on a person or in an event or something, and just start getting down to looking at composition and storytelling. I mean, that's the first thing. And as you go along, you will get better, but you will not get better unless you expose yourself to some other work which will then show you the possibilities. And there's one more question here. Personal space is answered. The links where they are shared through email, not through email, Samira. Richa, will you quickly share the PDF or whatever so they can know where they'll get the links? Richa, can you do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. You want me to share the links?
No, I don't want to share the links. I wanted to share the PDF on how to access the weekly course content and to join the discussion forum. You can run through the PDF and you can give the link of PDF on the chat as well. It's already there. We show them on the site. It's there on the site, but we show them here. So it helps people who are motivated to be able to access the content.
All right, ma'am. Yes. Is the screen visible to all?
Yeah, Richa,
Yeah.
it's visible.
Yeah. So the first thing is you need to go to this Swayam dashboard. Uh, Once you log in, you see this page, which is visible on the screen. On top, in the red banner, you see "Ask a question" written there. When you click on "Ask a question," you get directed to um, Google Groups, which is basically a discussion forum. That's it. So this is how the Google group looks like. We'll share the PDF with you. It is already there below each lesson, and you just need to click on join group. Next is how to participate and post your questions, your opinions on anything. See, the discussion forum is not academic related or anything as such. You can share your creative works. It is just like sending an email, as simple as that. So you just you just click on new conversation, which is on the left side of your screen, and you will get a window just like you send an email. You can attach your photographs or anything, write text, type, and post it. Please remember to keep the option as reply to all instead of just replying to the account CC account, so that everybody can see your message or your can answer your queries. It's not only related to ma'am answering your queries. Anyone can put in their opinion and answer. So now you will be a part of all the discussion which goes on. There are, I guess, in total a lot of groups. 18 groups are there. So you can join in, look at the answers, give your opinions. How to share your message. As I mentioned, please select reply all so that your message is posted on the group. Discussion forum for photojournalism is the account which ma'am has access to. Then everyone will be able to read the post and respond to you. It is better to reply on a computer or laptop. We are coming to the steps to be used in a mobile phone as well, for which you need to select desktop version. Then click on the three dots at the top right corner and select desktop site on the mobile screen. From the drop down menu, step by step procedure will be shown to you in the next slides. So this what your screen will look like if you log in via your mobile phone. So you click on the three lines, then click on ask a question, which is similar to what you get on the desktop version. And these are the groups you see. You can click on any group you want and reply and give your opinion. But be careful, like be respectful, and as it is you know, we are all here to study and not But you are not restricted to only academics here. You are free to share your creative works and creative ideas. So this is the step 5. Sorry, I got disconnected. So this is how your screen is going to look like, the mobile version.
Richa, you can even show the weekly access to the e-content. They've asked where are the links.
Yes,
These are there's a video. The link is given there. She will show you. And you click on, this is the video of the last interaction. The first interaction, I will give the YouTube link here as well. The live stream link, the link of last interaction where we did a live demo of all of this. Right now, we're just showing you the PDF, but you have the option of going to the live demo. The timestamps are given that in the recording, which is around 2 hours long. If you don't watch the entire 2 hours, but at these timestamps in the video, you are shown live on the website how to do all of these steps. And the video is there in the week 1. In the week 1 videos below the lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3, you have the first live interaction video link on Swayam. Similarly, the PDF, you can go on, Richa. Is it over? Is this the last slide? So this is the video, okay, demo steps. Yeah, you go on. I think that's it, Richa. This is the last
yes.
one.
Now I'll show you the links and academic scripts and the links which are available on the site. So just give me a minute, I'll share the
So
screen.
basically, when you log in into your Swayam account, on the left-hand side, on the left bar, you have the weekly content. Week 1, week 2, week 3, you have all the weekly content. In the weekly content, there you will have this also, the second live interaction. It will happen in the 3rd week. So it will go into the 3rd week. We will embed the YouTube link after the lesson 9. You can click, and people who have missed it can click and watch the replay in the course dashboard. The PDF with the steps of how to access the e-text is given in every lesson in the e-text section. Richa will share that. Yeah, Richa.
Yes. So I hope my screen is visible. So under week 1, you get a recording of first live online interactive session, which was done. So here we have online resources. As you scroll down, I will repeat once again. Week 1, you click on week 1.
Also, you see on the dashboard on the left-hand side, everything for week 1 is in week 1. The assignments for week 1 are there, and any extra video live interaction is in week 1. So you just need to go here, click, and you will get it. And then here, click here, all of these, you can click for all these additional resources. Yeah, go on, Richa.
So if you click on the online resources, you get all the materials here, the links. This is the academic script. As most of you were asking questions on the forum that what is happening in this video along with the timestamp. So you can go through the academic script to understand better what is going on if you can't can't access the captions. Next is for objectives. So you get everything related to lesson 1 below the video. You can also answer these questions. The reflection spot questions are also posted as MCQ here. These are the glossaries. Then you have the step access to course content on the discussion forum, which I have shared just now, the screen. We have uploaded the video as well, the PDF as well, so you can access that. it will be easier for you. Next is the summary. So here you get the summary of lesson 1 and FAQs. Then you have references. Click on all the links here. Also for all the lessons is the same. You can see, like, you will get the access, like the step-by-step access in every lesson and in every part. So that's it. And if you have any other queries,
So basically, the click here, these links to the e-text and whatever, they will be repeated. For example, lesson 1 has 3 videos: video part 1, part 2, part 3. The same thing which is uploaded in part 1 will be uploaded in part 2 and will be uploaded in part 3, because there is only one e-text for all the 3 video parts. But I just thought we don't know which video people are opening and which video they are seeing and not seeing. So rather than I decide where to keep the e-text, the idea is to create access. That whenever anybody opens any video, with that video, they should be able to access the relevant e-resources. And I really feel that the online resources that we have are a very good collection on different dimensions. And many of you already asked questions related to them. But it'll take a little bit of your time. Browse through them as in when you have some time and leisure. Go through them. Nothing is difficult. And if you like to know about photography and photojournalism, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun and engagement. And these are hand-picked links. These are not just arbitrary links. So they all are of good quality. They give you a good kind of perspective with good examples. And it's up to you how deep you want to go, how much time you want to invest in your own learning. It really is a choice of the learner, how far you want to go, how deep you want to go. But in addition to the actual lessons, you have these e-resources and the live interaction. Next is going to be 21st August. Then again, 2 weeks after that, and so on and so forth. We are also going to have a photography competition, and I will announce that soon. And we will keep the deadline till maybe September 30th or something, so that we give benefit to the people who join in the end as well. So we will increase the kind of, the what do you say, the deadline for the photography competition, so that all of you can easily join. But what about the people who join on 15 September? They shouldn't be left out. So we'll do that. We'll have one photography competition. You'll get certificates, you'll get cash prizes, and that's to encourage all of you to, again, do a little bit more. Any more questions? Thank you, Richa. Thank you. Any more questions relating to, so we've told you how to access the videos, how to access the discussion forum, both on your PC, laptop, and also on your mobile by using the desktop version. And Google Group is very passive right now. It's a Google Group, but only people ask me, I can't find the video. They ask me questions which are basically functional questions on how to access the course. But the kind of questions you asked me today in the live interaction, those kind of questions are coming in the discussion forum. So use that space, because we can't meet regularly. So you can share your questions, and myself and Richa and Ritik, we would get back to you and we respond to your questions. Any other question? Steve, oh, sorry, Mr. Chandan, you asked this question 3 times already. I wanted to answer, but so the difference between street photography and photojournalism, it's difficult for me to give an answer in few words. Street photography is candid photography. Street photography is when you're going on the roads and you find something interesting happening and you take a picture. Mostly street photography is not really planned. It's candid. Like you find a moment and you go ahead and you take a picture. Whereas photojournalism is what the video lessons have already told you what is to be a photojournalist. You're representing facts, you're documenting history, you're telling stories, there's an emotion, there's a subject, there's hopefully a rapport with the subject as well. So, photojournalism is much more broader. And street photography can also be a part of photojournalism, depending on the kind of pictures you take. For example, if Eid is being celebrated in a town, or Diwali is being celebrated in a town, or say Dashera or Holi is being celebrated in a town, and you get onto the streets and have pictures of people playing Holi and throwing colors on themselves or lighting crackers. In a way, it's sort of street photography. It's candid photograph of strangers. You take them, but you may put them together to make a story on how, for example, Jharkhand celebrates Holi or Diwali, or what is the special Holi of Banaras. So sometimes street photography can also become a part of photojournalism. Sometimes street photography can only be street photography, but street photography is also a respected form of photography. And a lot of the work that Henri Cartier-Bresson did was candid. He was like spontaneous. He was going around with his Leica camera and he found images and he took them literally as it were on the streets. But those images today have an iconic value. They have a lot of value in terms of what his pictures tell us about that time. And his photography skills, the way he makes pictures. I mean, they're delightful images that he makes. So we also need to learn about the art of photography. Photojournalism cannot happen unless we know how to take a photograph. And that is something nobody can teach you. I can't teach you. These great masters can't teach you. All you can do is see some good work, try something on your own, and by October 31st, it's not much time. Already 3 weeks are over. Only 12 weeks are remaining. All right. So in that 12 weeks that you have, see all these stimulation that's coming your way. Is it doing something inside you? Is some output coming out in response to what is coming in? So what is coming in through the course? Are you being able to express something in response to the material coming to you? Try that out. Yeah, is photojournalism for me? You need to figure that out. Techniques of storytelling, Archana, we talked about it all throughout. Storytelling is finding a subject, finding something that you think needs to be shared with other people who were not, for example, Bhopal gas tragedy, people who are not in Bhopal, and who were not there in 1984, December 4th night, when the tragedy happened, late night. We still can see those images today in 2022 and sitting in different places all over the world. And how can we do that? Because somebody decided to take those pictures then. So all of this will come from deep listening. You have to listen to all these resource persons who are featured in the group, in the course. All right. These resource persons, I cannot tell you, I'm very fortunate that I got their permission to give me interviews, and they took time out of their busy schedules and they decided to give their time and inputs. And all of them are in their own way the experts in their areas of work. So when you listen to so many different kinds of people talking about the way they look at photography, you will be able to find your way of looking at photography, which need not be my way or Richa's way or Agurai's way. You have to find your relationship with photography and photojournalism. We are going to help you find your own aptitude, your own attitude, your own skill. That's our work as teachers and facilitators, to introduce you to knowledge and help you to deepen the knowledge. Then you take it the next step. And from last batch, there are a couple of students. There's one person who is a teacher in a school, in a government school, but he's now freelancing for a Bangla vernacular daily. And he's giving them pictures for all their stories. And I will try to invite him for one session. And he's a shy person, but I don't know if he'd like to speak. But we are friends on Facebook now, and I see he's doing tremendous good work. Really, his photographs are amazing. And these are in a small place in West Bengal called Islampur. He takes images of children in the water, some children in a school. These are not some big historical events. This is events, pictures of things happening around him where he lives. But he's getting such powerful pictures, and those pictures are getting a space in the local Bangla daily. Yeah, and he has Raju Das has shared some of photographs on the Facebook group. So if you have joined the Facebook group, you'll be able to see Raju Das's work. He was very consistent, very regular, and I think he got 98% or something, 95 or 98%. Everything he did was perfect. But he was constantly doubting himself. I'm not a photographer. I come from a small town. I have never learned this. How will I do? How will I do? I said, you don't need to be in a big town to learn photography or photojournalism. You don't need to know English to do photography and photojournalism. You don't need to be anyone. You just need to have a connection with the visual form of communicating. If you like to do that, you're in the right place. And as Nicholas said, that, yeah, we will accept your request, Samira. We're dealing with the Swayam headache that no emails are going through. So the alternate email ID, wherever you got the email, either from Office EMRC or EMRC at pondiuniac.in, from wherever you got an email for today's event, reply back on that email if you have any issues. Best thing is to join the discussion forum and put it there. Then Richa, Ritik, and myself, all three of us will be moderating and getting back to you for your detailed questions. All right. And the last thing I wanted to say was that so Raju decided that he wanted to, along with his job, he's still teaching in a school in West Bengal, but he's doing this on the side. He's doing a freelancing work for a Bangla daily, and he has the talent to take good pictures. So he's giving a lot of joy to a lot of people through his wonderful photography skills. So, and Nicholas said that as a communications officer, he's required to document all the activities of the French consulate, photographs and videos. That's his work. So you may be a communication officer or a public relation officer, but you may be also be asked to document all the events of your organization. Like I said, all jobs you're getting, they are now becoming multifaceted and multitasking. They want to give you less money and get more out of it. They don't want to hire 4 people for 4 things. They want to hire one person who can do all the 4 things. That's the way the world is going. So if you can do photography and you can do writing and you can send properly the emails of communicating with people, answering the queries, then you're capable to be a communications officer or a public relations officer. And you can use publicity material, you can use photographs, video, and you have the common sense to understand what question is being asked and answer that question, or send out an email announcing something. That's what we all are doing, right? When we got to know there was a problem that the Swayam email ID is not working, we all worked overtime till midnight and all over the last 3-4 days to create these groups of emails from Swayam, bring it to our official email IDs, and reach out to each one of you proactively. So that those of you are interested, you should not be lost. You don't know why nobody's writing to you. I don't know why nobody's coming up, but the problem is a technical problem. So with our email IDs, hopefully you should be getting the regular updates every 2 weeks when we do an event, 1 week in advance, because we have a cap of 500 emails per day in bulk. So we will start a week in advance. There are 2,000 people registered so far. More people will be registering. So we start on 15th August, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like that. So, or maybe 13th or 14th August, we start in advance, and every day 500 emails go out. So there's no stress and panic on that account. And in Swayam, if you start logging in for your into the announcements, that will make everybody's work very easy. Just log in into your Swayam account and the announcement will be there, even if it's not coming to you as an email. Do that at least 2 times a week for the assignment and the weekly course material, just to be in the loop. Be active in the discussion forum. I'm not expecting you to write like lot of long comments, but something, share a photograph. Even my Anna, Kabinandan, Kiki, Dr. Archana, Siddharth, Anas, Chandan. Thank you so much, and just stay in touch with us. We'll try and do the best we can. Thank you. All right. So I will end this meeting for all. And Richa and Ritik, maybe you can take a ride back with Mr. Balamurgan. You can ask him to drop you so you don't miss your dinner. Okay. Is only Mr. Balamurgan there, or somebody else also there?
Only
Yeah.
Mr. Balam.
I think you can manage because Ritik will get down at Aurobindo, but you have to go further down, right? Your hostel is so you request him, he'll drop you on the way. Okay, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mr. Balamurgan. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Somebody wants to enter now. Why? Manjeet Panwar. I can say bye to him. Manjeet, are you here? I did admit him. Manjeet, the session is over. It started at 6 o'clock, Manjeet. We are ending now. You can watch the recording. We will share the link to the recording. Richard, just put the link to the PDF and the first interaction here. I'll put the first interaction and you can put the PDF link. For those who are still around, I forgot to do that. I will just share the link and you share the link to the PDF. Oh, I forgot to do that.
Okay, ma'am.
By the Alabi joining now, 8 o'clock, 8:15. What I will do now? I can't do anything. So here's the link to the first interaction video. Just copy it, in which we did a live demo and we had, I answered quite a few questions of people. You can go through that if you find it useful. Okay, so there's Richa is saying she will share it in the discussion forum, the link to the PDF. And just let me try if I can do it. Just hold on. Okay, I put this. You can copy this as well. These are the 3 links: how to join the discussion forum, and then the PDF on how to join the discussion forum, and the link to join the Facebook group. So Baidha and Manjeet started the session exactly at 6 o'clock, and it's 8:20. I will share on the discussion forum the link to today's recording, and then you can access it. It was a very nice discussion we had today, and you can watch it later on. It will be there in the 3rd week dashboard. Live interaction 2, the link will be given there on the SWAYAM dashboard, and also on the discussion forum we'll post it. All right.
Okay.
And just kind of catch up. There are 2 interaction videos, week 1 and week 3. You can access them.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry today for
And in the
today. I was busy
discussion
somewhere.
forum, any questions you have, you can write down and ask. And any difficulty, you can write to us in the discussion forum.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry for today.
No problem. Luckily, we have. That's why we recorded it, so that people who couldn't make it can catch up on their own pace. Thank you. Okay. Finally, then I will. If you all have copied the links for your discussion forum and YouTube link, I'll end the meeting. Thank you so very much. Bye, everybody, and have a good week ahead and good weeks ahead till we meet again. Bye for now.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome. Yes, Anas, the session will only be on a Sunday always, because Sunday is the day when most people are free. Other days people have jobs and people are working. So that is why those Sundays, even my holiday and many people's holiday, but that's a good time that if you really want to come, you don't have to miss the session, because if you want to attend live, because Sunday is mostly a holiday for everybody. And if you miss it, the recording will always be shared with you. All right? Yeah. Okay. I'll end the meeting now. Bye. Bye for now.